is a constitutional thing. It is only the National Assembly that can appropriate the expenditure of government. Now, if the Ministry of Aviation submitted a budget, and during the process of budgeting, those things were removed according to what we are hearing now, and they went behind to go and insert it into their budget and purchased without appropriation. That is clearly illegal. That is clearly unconstitutional, and there is a criminal angle to it. We're not only talking about sacking the minister now or relieving any person of any post, but that the person who has committed this must be prosecuted in addition, because that is a criminal offense. There is no person today that can spend any money under Nigerian law if you're a government official or government agency without proper appropriation. It's only the National Assembly that can do that. And so for the fact that they spent 255 million for two bulletproof cars that did not in any way receive the consent of the National Assembly, that is clearly a breach of the Constitution. That is a breach of the budgeting system, for which Mrs. Oduah should not only be relieved of her post but also be prosecuted. And one is wondering what EFCC is doing at this point in time, that they have not gone after her to investigate these matters properly, And one is also not happy that administrative panel is being set in a matter that is purely criminal. I don't know what the administrative panel is going to do in this. Is it to sweep the matter under the carpet, which is what people are alleging? Because the right thing to do now is to turn her over to the security agencies, especially the FCC, to look into the matter critically and come up with a finding as to whether what we're saying is actually true or is a lie.
So, given the way it is right now, it appears that NCA purchased it for her. Now, if we want to go after the culprit, would Mrs. Oduah be liable, or would NCA be liable?
The point is that the investigation properly will actually, situate this matter properly. If NCCA, purchase the car, at whose instance? Because I don't think the NCCA will just wake up and begin to buy a car and then, handing over the car to the minister without an input from the minister herself. So who instigated the purchase of this car? Who advised that the car should be purchased? Who requested for it? Was it that the minister did not request for this car and all that? So it is important that this investigation now, we should, cover all this. In any case, we are not even seeing the two cars. We only hear that there were, two BMWs, bulletproof, but nobody has seen that car. Just like what happened in the House of Reps, where we're talking about $620,000, and up to now nobody has seen that money. So nobody has seen the two cars. Was these cars actually were they purchased? And if they were purchased, where are the cars? The story we heard was those cars were parked in a house somewhere in Victoria Island, in this area in Ireland, and nobody has seen. Or is it parked in the ministry? Where are they? They say it's for operational, for operational system, for the ministry, and we have not seen those operational cars and all that. So it is important we even demand for the physical, sighting of those cars, and then to know who actually instigated those cars to be purchased, at whose instance and at whose request, and did they follow the normal procedure, for purchase of cars for government officials, and if he did, why that stupendous amount that we consider very obscene, 255 million, whereas no matter the features of that car, people say that those two cars should not be more than 60 million naira. And so why that inflated amount? And if it is inflated, who may have collected the money, the kickback and all that? So these are the things that this thing will reveal. And this man that sold the car must also be interrogated. He must produce invoice with which these cars are sold. And that's why it is very imperative that this woman should be relieved of by being suspended, so that it can really give free access to proper investigation being carried out. But as long as she remains the minister, she can block or information flow to the security agencies. So I think we should get to the root of this matter. And I as I said it earlier, if this matter is not properly investigated and this woman gets away with this scandal that is now become, it's not only national but international, has come to international light, then Nigeria will not in any way escape being number one corrupt nation. With the recent, with the soon coming index, by Transparency International. There's no two about it, because if a government can do this and set up a panel, and the same woman is in Israel now with the president, despite the fact that such allegation is causing so much trauma, and headache to Nigerians who are living in this country, and the woman traveled alongside with the president into Israel and all that. It shows the level of tolerance of corruption by this government. Any government that is very serious won't even allow her to have traveled. She asked her to stay behind, and relieve her of her position, and then ensure that proper investigation is carried out. So I don't think, this is doing the image of the presidency and that of Jonathan, well. I don't see it. I don't see it this way.
I'm going to also ask you, based on what you raised now. Yeah. I don't know if you have seen it before, that somebody would be incumbent in a position and is also being investigated. Is it possible for an objective investigation or objective conclusion to be arrived at?
No, there won't be any objective, more so when you have even heard from the NCAA Director General that those who leaked the information to Sahara reporters, are being hounded. They are being assaulted, and of course they want to take disciplinary action against them. Left for them, and those guys should have been shot by now for leaking such a very sensitive, in quotes, information to Sahara reporters. So as long as the woman is still in charge of the ministry, I can assure you cannot have an easy access to information that we really need in order to unearth this thing I consider a mystery. She will really do everything to stautify, free flow of information and hinder access to information that will be very vital in her prosecution. And so you can't have any objective investigation as long as she still remains in the ministry. She can intimidate those that may be willing to give information. She can intimidate and cajole them into submission, or even retracting their statement, or even saying that the issue of whether there was due process. You hear them singing different tones. Oh, there was due process. Oh, it was properly approved. In fact, some people are even trying to carry liability. That it's not even theirs because she is still in charge of the ministry, and they will do everything possible in order to make her, to please her, in order to retain their position and their jobs. And that's why you see some people, if there is any man that is even more culpable, is the man that came out to give us all manner of explanation as to what took place. And he ended up, confusing himself. He ended up provoking Nigeria with his explanations. The first explanation was that the woman's life is being threatened, and so she needed those bulletproof cars in order to to secure her life. I saw that explanation has been daft. Was there any time she has reported about threat to her life to any police or even to IG? She is the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If her life is being threatened, I think the IG of the Federation should have been aware of it. Then the next explanation we got to know is that the price of the car is so high because there are no competitors. So what explanation is that? You mean there are no other, even manufacturers themselves, have they gone into extinction? Couldn't you have approached them to buy that? And what is the sense of urgency in the purchase of that car that you have to throw away 200 and something million naira? Public fund, taxpayers' money, not your private money. In a country where for 4 months now, the university have been shut, and the federal government is singing this song, their familiar song, that they don't have any money. In a country where today the health sector, I think the people that are there are on strike, and the government is saying we don't have money to pay them. Almost everything you are hearing from the government today is that we don't have any money. And even the normal monthly allocation that they used to give to all the states, for how many months now, they've been in arrears. They've been owing them. They've not been paying in full because there is no money. So you have a country that is running purely on deficit budget now, throwing away such amount of money that belongs to the public. In a manner that one will consider gross negligence. It's pure negligence on the part of government to do that. And then it's so sign of impunity and insensitivity on the government side to spend such amount of money without proper explanation and telling us all cock and bull story that does not in any way convince anyone. Rather, it provokes Nigerians that these guys, I don't know whether they're human beings at all. So I think this woman owes Nigeria explanation as to what actually transpired with this purchase of this car, when we know that we don't have any money even to fix some of our our deficit infrastructures.
So let's finally try to compare this particular scandal with the one that led Body George to jail.
Yes.
if we weigh them side by side, could Stella Oduah go to jail if she is investigated and found culpable?
No, if the woman is investigated and it's covered that she's the one that actually instigated the purchase of this car and at an outrageous amount without following due process, there is no reason why this woman should not be tried. I insist on it. And then with overwhelming evidence that we presented, I see no reason also why she shouldn't go to jail. Now there are people whose job have lost their position in government, both in Yar'Adua's government and that of President Jonathan, as a result of allegations like this. Remember the former Minister of Education lost his job as a result of allegations like this. Remember the former President of the Senate, Barr, was also relieved of his position because of things like. Remember Ikeja. The woman was alleged to have, done something that was considered not proper and procedural, and she was relieved of her position as a Speaker of the House. There are many people who have even the Dr. Grange, was it Professor Grange, also lost her position as a Minister for Health because of things like this. So I see no reason why this woman, no matter the position she's holding, no matter the level of intimacy she has with the presidency, no matter the level of support she has given to the president during his election in 2011, that is even the more reason why the president should distance himself now, because the closeness and the intimacy should have made the woman to be very, very careful in whatever she's doing. For having done this, knowing fully well that she's very close to the president, would have even made her to even resign, even without anyone asking for it. So I think the president should distance herself from this woman and ensure that the proper thing is done in order to assuage Nigerians, because Nigerians are really provoked and they're really watching to see what President Jonathan will do in respect of this matter. And if he does not cleanse himself of this woman, I tell you that it will also affect his political chances in 2015. It's a warning.
Like you remember the case of NNPC, the Mrs. Alison Madweke, remember Okonjo Iweala, and you remember now Stella Oduah. So it seems women enjoy more protection from President Jonathan. Well, do you think there's more to this?
Well, I don't think it's only women that enjoys protection, including men also. People who are very close to him. There is some level of tolerance of corruption in this government. That is the point, and the president has the right to prove us wrong, by distancing and then making sure that the proper thing is done with this Mrs. Stella Oduah. Now, the issue of probably protecting women, I may not look at it from the angle that probably there is any immoral relationship he has with them. But the point is that those women that he has put into position, they have one thing or the other they are doing for the presidency. There is no two way about it. She has a closer relationship with Desiani. Desiani is in charge of oil, and oil is the live wire of this nation. And of course, the president will want somebody that is loyal, and loyalty will be 100% loyal. And he has found Desiani to be very totally loyal to him. And so that's why no matter the level of allegation, no matter the level of corruption the woman is involved in, the president has turned a blind eye to all those allegations and have removed to take a practical step in getting the woman off the system. So with Stella Oduah, and of course Onyekachi Ubani, it's almost the de facto president. I mean, she is the one running the economy. The president said everything that has to do with the economy, you refer it to Onyekachi Ubani, and Onyekachi Ubani is almost as powerful as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today. So these are people that are very close to the presidency, and the presidency feels that he owes them loyalty, not to probably get them out of the system. But the point is that the president doesn't know that Nigerians are really not finding this scenario very interesting. Because if people are not really helping his government, if Nigerians are not getting dividends of democracy because these ones are not competent enough, they're not showing efficiency in running the administration of President Jonathan, then he should distance himself from them and then bring in men and women who knows how to do it and do it well for his administration. So I'm appalled. I'm totally alarmed that he keep on keeping these people who are really not helping his reputation, who are really not helping his image, on some other sentiments, other than the real, patriotic zeal that he requires from them to carry out their work. I should think that the criteria should be performance. I should think that the criteria should be that these people are efficient. I should think that the criteria is that these people are very, they know their onions and that they are good and that they don't have any scandal around them. But the presidency seems that very comfortable with those who have scandal around him, around them, and it is not helping his administration. So I am alarmed, and I'm telling him at this point in time that instead of these people to drag his name and reputation down, he should distance himself and get them off the system in order to allow his administration to run. More so when he has a political ambition for 2015. It's an advice to him.